Good morning. Hope everyone is having a wonderful start to your week. If you didn't start yesterday, we're doing our Facebook Live as well, and giving you guys value every week on what we do. And the knowledge of this information is at your requisite. Everyone that is desiring to go further than where they've ever gone before needs to have someone that knows how to take them beyond where they've been, and that's what we do. We are in the habit of giving classes every week. We do Sculling for Life every week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, as well as we do them in Farsi and Spanish. So feel free to look into that, send us a message, we'll get with you. And this month we're going over the terror barrier. And as well as on the last Thursday of the month, I think it's September the 29th, we'll be having a live seminar. So you guys that are in Lubbock or you want to hop on and see that on Zoom, feel free to send us a message. We're going to go into our study for the week, and it's going to be on the terror barrier. And we're going to be going over what it is to stay on track, what experiences that we've had that are going to keep us on track. A lot of times we're going to use memory, and that's normal. Our intellect is adaptive and conditioned to use what we've had in the past and to judge by our past experiences, and that really dictates a lot of our future. But we no longer want to do that when you start to understand this information. You want to start using your vision. You want to start using a higher understanding, the higher faculties. And the way you do that is you use your imagination. Now, a lot of the people that are in our classes have been in this and understand it a little bit better, some more than others, depending on how long they've been in the classes. And we're always growing. Even us as mentors and students as well, we're still always getting a better understanding of it, but it's always with the vision that you overcome obstacles. It's always through a vision that you go beyond where you've ever been. It's always with a vision that you bring order into your life. So it's the vision that's going to take you out of the ordinary, the vision that's going to take you out of the mundane. It's the vision that's going to take you beyond where you've ever been. And through that process, you're going to end up hitting what they call the terror barrier. You're going to end up hitting the fears, the doubts, the worries, and you need to learn to overcome those things that are coming. You need to learn how to adapt and use your mind, and how to strengthen your mind, and really how to dominate your mind. Your mind will dominate you, or you will dominate the mind. This is a process as well. As you start to look into personal development, or you want to improve your lifestyle, either way, it's still personal, and it's still only you. And nobody can fix you. Nobody can better you. Nobody can improve you. You're the only one that can go inside and change who you are. And by doing so, you take on one of the biggest triumphs of reality, because it's you. You're the one that's creating your reality. Your mind is set, and it's set to experience reality according to the way it was conditioned. So it's through constant spaced repetition, it's through continually working on you, it's through persisting in adapting to the changes that you need to change to become who you want to be. And this is how we grow. Man's chief disillusion is that there are things outside of himself. And as long as he keeps thinking in that manner, he will always give his power away. But when he takes responsibility for the lifestyle that he has, when he takes or she takes responsibility for the results that they're having in life, they take their power back. And now it's up to you to distinguish the outcome. And we're going to go into the visioneering part of this lesson here. Everything was first created twice, first in the imagination, then in form. This vision that you use is going to take you to where you want to go. And in the process, you want to have a definite chief aim in life. And the reason you want to have a definite purpose is because the purpose gets you up in the morning. And when you find a purpose that gets you up, you go to bed with, and you wake up again, and it moves you, you've got the right purpose. You're going to do things on purpose. And when I say doing things on purpose, you will look for the reasons, you will look for the hows, you will look for the whys of what it is that you have to do to get out of your own way. You will look at what you need to do and what habits you need to adapt and pick up to acquire your chief aim, your goal, your vision. And when you have a definite purpose, a chief aim in life, nothing will get in the way. And if it does, you'll figure out how to go around it, go above it, plow through it. You will find the way. Majority of the people is overcome by their natural state of being. And when I say that, it's not normal to go beyond what you know how to do. That's a perfectly operating brain. It's not normal to go beyond and get out of your comfort zone. It's not normal to go and learn new habits and behaviors and become somebody completely different. That's not normal. What normal is staying where you're at, conforming with what you have, do as they do what you are conditioned to do and to be, conform to the status quo. That's normal. The brain is automatic, and its automatic is to preserve energy. Its automatic is to restrain, to hold back, to be careful, to not really try to go beyond what's feared. The minute you begin to go into that fear, the doubt, and the worry, it's normal to resist and to pull back and to conform. These are all natural states of being. There's nothing wrong with you. And that's for myself and everyone around. We all face it. And it's normal. It's normal to have those fears. And it's quite normal that people don't go beyond that. But if we want to go beyond that, we're going to have to become somebody different. Why is it that men alive today have a shortage of resilience, short of imagination, short of initiative, which is needed by the men that will be the frontiers? Why is it individuals say there are no opportunities? Why is it that individuals see the circumstances and they keep thinking that there is something outside of themselves that's not allowing them to become who they want to be? Well, this is going to go back to a big word called responsibility. Their own willingness and unwillingness to assume responsibilities, to use their minds. So again, we're going to something unseen. Now, a lot of people say, well, what is this mind and how does the mind work? Well, the mind is a movement, and if you don't understand the movement, how could you understand life? The mind is a movement, and if we don't understand how the mind works and we're not able to regulate our mind, our thoughts, control our thoughts, design our life with our thoughts, create a vision with our own thoughts and our own mind, work on ourselves and develop ourselves, our mindset, then you will never understand life. You'll always think that life is controlling you. You'll always think that life is happening to you. But there's another way. There's another way. That way is responsibility and demanding what you want out of life and taking responsibility for whatever actions that need to be taken. This is a different style of living, and it's a different mindset. And very few people adapt to the change and win. We turn to ourselves for ideas but it is rare that we are able to adapt to the idea. Why are we not able to adapt to the idea? Well, because we have an intellect. And that intellect, a majority of the time, is getting in our own way. How many times have you thought to yourself, you need to get out of your own way? You recognize that a lot of times you're getting in your way. But what's getting in your way is your intellect. What's getting in your way is the fear, the doubts, and the worries. What's getting in your way is going to be the actual programming that you've had. Now, this is where we need to push forward, and we need to learn how to use our mind. This is where we need to understand that we are spiritual beings experiencing a physical body. But what's even more important than that is that we're spiritual beings experiencing our intellect. That's the issue here. Majority of the people don't study their intellect. Majority of the people don't study the nature of the ideas that were presented to them. But this is where the problem's at. You see, we're spiritual beings. We live in three planes: spiritual plane, the intellectual plane, and the physical plane. But we rarely study our intellect. We rarely study the ideas that we have. We rarely study the hard drive, the way we're programmed, the software mechanism. We rarely study the data that we received. But that data and that programming, those conditionings, is what's delivering the results that the physical body sees. You see life outside of yourself. I'm going to put a video here up of Bob, and he's going to go through this process. We'll come back to our lesson.
And it's the intellectual factors that we want to develop. And in developing them, what we do is raise our level of consciousness. Now you come back here, we say, under the law of vibration, we find that everything vibrates, nothing rests. Everything is in a constant state of motion. There is no such thing as inertia. From the mental to the grossest form of matter, all is in vibration. This lectern is made of, I suppose we would call it lucite. However, it appears to be solid, but it's really not. If you look under a microscope, you'll see particles of energy moving. And of course, that would be the same with every physical form that you might look at under a microscope. Now, we say graduating between the lowest and the highest form of vibration, there are literally millions of cells or levels of vibration. Rates of vibration are known as frequency. The higher the frequency, the more potent it becomes. Thought being one of the highest forms of vibration, and very potent in nature, should certainly be understood. Now, I have mentioned in many, many seminars that thought waves are cosmic waves that penetrate all time and all space. It's not an accident if you happen to be wandering down the Champs-Élysées in Paris or maybe Oxford Street in London, England, and a loved one may be sitting in Colorado Springs, and they're really concentrating. Something has happened at home, and they really want you to phone home. All of a sudden, you get a feeling you should phone home. Now, what did we say feeling was? Vibration. Their thought waves are in resonance or in harmonious vibration on the same frequency as certain cells in your brain. And as that thought wave of theirs strikes your brain cells, it sets up a vibration in you. You call that a feeling. You've got a feeling you should phone home. And you phone and they'll say, oh, thank goodness you phoned. We've been wanting to talk to you. Do you think that's an accident? Again, it's the same thing when you pick up the phone to phone someone. You haven't touched the dial. The phone hasn't rang, and yet the other person's on the other end. We put that off as coincidence, and we laugh about it. It's an absolute law. You were in tune with the other person. Now, we started out yesterday morning with a glass of water. In the earliest lesson, we were coming under and talking about these three parts of our personality, and then we related it to energy. I held up a glass of water, And I said, in the state of vibration it was in, the energy was called water. Then we talked about heating the water. We called the same energy steam. It wasn't water any longer. And then we continued to heat the energy, and then we called it air, ether, or gas. It was the same energy. Now, let's let these lines here represent levels of vibration, or we could refer to them a different way, levels of consciousness. Now, we're going to take this bottom line and make it a little heavier. We'll put a couple of arrows on it. And then we will write the word self. Now, I would suggest that in your exercise book, on the opposite page to the law of vibration and attraction, that you make a drawing like this. Now, underneath, we'll write the word simple. Now, everything below this line is going to be referred to as a simple conscious state. This line is referred, and everything above, as a self stage of consciousness. Now, what we're dealing with are levels of vibration in consciousness. An animal is in a simple state of consciousness. We could have a little dog here on the set, and the dog would know it's on the set, but it doesn't know it knows it. A dog operates, as you and I do, with sensory factors, and they are to help the person communicate with their outside world, but they're not operating with any intellectual factors. They operate with instinct, which is perfect. So the dog knows and yet knows not. It's able, through its sensory factors, to look at its outside world, but not able to look at its inner world. You and I have the creative ability of looking at our inner world, and we're in what we call a self-conscious state. We are aware of our objective as well as our subjective world. Now, there are many varying degrees of consciousness until you reach the higher state, which is called divine or cosmic. Use whatever word you choose. It's divine or cosmic consciousness. All religions that have maintained their balance over any period of time are founded on the premise that we will one day be one with our Maker. We will reach this higher or divine conscious state. We will be aware of our oneness with this power. Now, you're going to find individuals who have a very low level of consciousness. They're way down here. Therefore, they have a very low level of what we call awareness. Now, the awareness dictates how that person lives. Whenever I mention this, I think of the first time I had an occasion to go down to the Loop or downtown Chicago. I was living in Glenview, and I went down the Edens Expressway, and as I was going along Michigan Avenue, I saw people laying right in the gutter. They were absolutely filthy. Now, these people were virtually living in an animalistic state, almost. And you would say, well, they're stupid. No, they're not stupid. Some of these people have degrees. Some may have a doctorate's degree or an MBA. What they have is a low level of consciousness. They could have a highly developed intellect, know a lot here, but still in a low vibration. They're not living there because they want to. They're living there because they do not know. They are not aware of how to change it. You will find then individuals, some are up in years, some are fairly young, that have a very high level of consciousness. They're not away down here with their consciousness. They have a very high level of consciousness, and they have a very, very high level of awareness. Now, these people have a phenomenal vibration. Their energy, you feel so good around them. There's something about them that you're attracted to. You're not quite sure what it is. You see, you couldn't articulate on it because it's vibration. You very rarely see these people upset. You very rarely see them excited or depressed. They have learned how to maintain a magnificent balance. Everything they do, they seem to do very, very well. They're very creative. They know how to get results. They know how to stay on track and not let the suggestions that are coming from their outside world knock them off track. Now, you and I live somewhere between here, and yet know not where. Now, let's suppose a person is on this level of consciousness. The only thing that person could attract is what's on that level or on that frequency. Consciousness, vibration, frequencies, we're talking about the same thing. If a person is earning, let's say, $25,000 a year, they're not earning 25 because they want 25. They're earning 25 because they are not aware of how to earn 50. If a person's suffering with headaches, they're not suffering with headaches because they want headaches. They're suffering from headaches because they're not aware of how to eliminate the headaches. If a person is alone and lonely, they're not alone and lonely because they want to be. They're alone and lonely because they're not aware of how to change it. Now, what you and I are really seeking is a higher level of awareness. And you know, that's what we're gaining as we're studying this material. The more often you watch this, the more you're raising your level of consciousness. Now, what you're really doing is raising your level of awareness. And we're going to get to the point where we're very, very tuned in. We say the law of vibration could be explained in many ways for various purposes. In this seminar, it is our intention to confine it to thoughts, an effort to improve the quality of our life. Now, I'm just going to touch on the first couple of pages, and then John's going to come up and tie this in on this board to goals. Because that's what we really want to know. We want to know, how does reaching the goal and the awareness of vibration, how do they connect? Where's the connection there? Well, the more we understand this, the more we'll understand what I'm saying here, because everything vibrates. So what we want to do is get into harmonious vibration with whatever good we desire. We say here on the bottom of page 41, third paragraph in the bottom, for you to grasp a clear understanding of how you can actually take dominion over your results, to understand how and why thoughts and things come into your life as they do, you must go back to this basic premise which we started with in the very first lesson, where I held the glass of water and talked about the energy. We called it water, we called it steam, we called it air, ether, or gas. It was the same energy, it was just altering its level of vibration. Now we say energy is neither created nor destroyed. All science and all theology have taught us that for, let's say, for the past 6,000 years at least in recorded history. Now, everything is merely in a constant state of vibration, being manifest in all varying degrees of vibration. We have the ability to alter the vibratory rate of anything. I could take and alter the vibratory rate of this lectern. Call it lucite, I could turn it into air, ether, or gas. I did that yesterday with a dollar bill. Just 1 minute it was paper, boom, the next minute it was air. I had the choice, I had the ability to do that because I'm a creative being. I do have dominion over. Well, now we know that with simple little things, let's use it for higher things. We say with free will and the other many mental factors we possess, in our marvelous mind, you have the co-creative ability to cause vibratory change to take place as you choose. If I'm not feeling good, negative vibration, I can switch the idea in my mind. All of a sudden I'm feeling good, positive vibration. How's that controlled? It's controlled by the various ideas that I will choose to entertain from time to time, build here and plant here. Because whatever goes in here dictates the vibration my mind body is in. And we must understand mind body are one and the same, not two. Not two. Now with free will, reason is one intellectual factor, will is another intellectual factor. Reason gives us freedom, and the will gives us the ability to lock into an idea and control our vibration and stay in the vibration we must be in to attract something that's already here. It's like the way to fly the airplane was already here. We say the lack of ability to exercise this tremendous power for good is caused by ignorance.
All right. Quite a bit in that. Lack of understanding is the greatest cause. Of all follies, mishaps, being stuck. What that is, a word for that is called ignorance. Ignorance of what? Of ourselves. When we don't understand ourselves, we stay bound and limited by what we know. When we don't understand what's happening and we don't understand the way the mind works, we become subservient to the conditions. And we will serve those conditions until we take responsibility over what? The way we think. That's why it's so important. Your whole life is being determined by one governing factor: your mindset, the way you think. Your life has been conditioned. Your program has been conditioned. Your habits that you already have today, however, whatever age you are, you already have built a habitual behavior backed by definite demands. You already have developed a definite behavior backed by definite demands from your self-image. Your self-image demands for you to do the things that you do. And it's preloaded. And a lot of things you just enjoy doing, and you don't even know that you enjoy doing it. But those things that you do is what's delivering the results unconsciously, and you don't even understand why. And then a time here and there, you get upset with yourself and get upset with the conditions, and you become more self-aware just for a little bit, and then you decide to change, and then you start to make some changes, and then all of a sudden you let go of the changes, and you let go of the new habits, and you're back again, and you're seeing yourself in this vicious cycle of wanting to be somebody more, wanting to go outside of your own intellect. Observe yourself for a few milliseconds or seconds per day, once a month, every 3 months. You see, but yet nothing ever really changes. Because you've never developed the habit and behavior of reprogramming your subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind is what you need to reprogram in order to get better results. You've got to invest in yourself. Nobody else will, and nobody else can. And there's not one single person in this world that does not need this information. Not one. Everybody is bound by this, by law. So that means everybody needs it. There's not one individual in this world that will not get to the point to where they have to unlearn and relearn. And consistently do it. You don't do it one time. It's a consistent effort if you want to consistently go beyond where you are. It will be a consistent effort if you want to get unstuck. And we're always stuck. You could advance a little bit, then you're stuck again. You may advance a little bit more, but then you're stuck again. It's rare that I find somebody that keeps rewiring their subconscious mind. It's rare that I find somebody that has consistently, year by year, year by year, year by year, advancing and becoming truly successful. That's why very few people are successful. Because they don't understand, majority of the people don't know this information. They didn't know they were programmed. They don't know that they need to reprogram their subconscious mind. And that's why the majority of the people are stuck. I see individuals that have been successful once. They advanced, they'd gone a little further, and then they remained. And they're trying to figure out what happened. A lot of times I will find people that I'll find that 5%. When I find that 5%, now 97% are stuck, and they stay stuck. You can look around. Go look around. Go look at every city center. And drive from the city center out, and you're going to find that people stay more or less the same. You'll find those 5%. When you find those 5%, you'll find people that are earning 300,000 plus 400. Very few get past 500,000. Very few. I don't remember what the odds are right now, but I think it's maybe 2-3% do more, have earnings that are over $500,000, $600,000. Accident? No. I will find people investing in their mind. I'll find people that are researching this material, but they're normally going to be the people that are in the 5%. I'll find people that may look and teeter-totter and back and forth. Should I invest in myself? Should I not? Should I do this? Should I not do it? The people that are earning the least amount of money should be investing in this to begin with. But it's not till they're earning $300,000. $250,000, $300,000, they're teeter-tottering back and forth. Should I invest in myself or not? Should I stay where I'm at? People that are doing 300 plus are investing in themselves, and they're studying, they're researching, trying to figure out how to get further. They're already doing okay, but they got a taste. That's what's it. They've got a taste of what success could be, and they've seen it, and they've touched it, they've tasted it. But there's something inside of them that believes in themselves enough to bet on themselves. Oh, you can do this too. You can do this too. It doesn't matter how much you're earning. I've seen people earning $30,000, $20,000 a year, $27,000 a year, and earning millions now because they bet on themselves, because they invested on themselves, and they didn't do this just one time. They continue to study the material month after month, year after year. Why? Because they're the only ones that can change their life. Zach, how much time do we have? I'm going to go through a little exercise here. And it'll be good for everyone in class, anybody that's watching on Facebook as well. Go back and rewind this. Again, everything that you do is a behavior. Everything that you are is a mind that's set. And what we want to do is go back to what our mind was set. Now, when we look at the mind, we try to understand the mind. I'm not going to go through it all because it's a lot of information. But we have a mind set. This mindset is always thinking. Always reasoning. Majority of the time, it's in conflict, back and forth. Now you say, well, I'm not in conflict. I normally live a happy life. Well, every time you try to go beyond what you know how to do, you get into conflict. Every time you go beyond what you know how to do, you get into conflict. So yes, you do get in conflict. Everyone goes into conflict. Whenever their higher personality, which is spirit, knows that it's so much more. You have a soul. Everybody says, I have a soul. Of course we have a soul. We have a spiritual soul. We're spiritual beings living in a physical body. We're spiritual beings living in a physical body. I have a soul. I have a spirit. Well, your spiritual DNA is perfect, and it knows it is. That's why it's always asking you to what? To go further than where you've ever been. Your spiritual DNA is perfect. Your spiritual DNA is perfect, and it knows it can do so much more, and it can handle so much more. That's why it's in the little child, run faster, jump higher, pick up the cup, drink from the cup. I want to do what you do. I know I can. The little child expresses his perfection without limitations. When you get older, you stop doing that. Really think about it. Does a little child, the minute he falls, says, I'm not going to get up anymore, that hurt? But yet, as adults, we see something, and if it's not exactly the way we wanted it, we just stop and we go back and conform to where we were at. The child says, I will keep doing it until I learn it and I earn it. The little child, his mindset is not at a negative vibration, and his self-image is not holding him back yet. You developed that along the way. You developed a poor self-image along the way. But as a child, you kept getting up. As a child, you kept imagining beyond where you were at. So then you kept trying different things, and you kept trying and practicing until you developed the habit and behavior to run, to jump, to listen, to hear, to advance, to think. But at some point in your life, as you were growing, you started to listen to the people around you. And some of those people around you may have had a negative self-images. And at some point, everybody has a self-image that does not allow them to go further than where they are. Everybody does. Everybody gets to a point, these are levels of vibration and frequency, where they get to a point where they no longer know how to go beyond where they're at. Now, Bob was demonstrating this. Let me make these a little bit bigger. All levels of vibration, all frequencies are all around us. Energy. And at the most lower state is simple. And I like the way Bob did that. Simple mind. A simple awareness. But we're not simple. Simple is the animal. It still has a consciousness, it still has an awareness, but it's simple. It's not as advanced as you are. Then we have the self. Self, it's all about self-awareness. We are the only ones that can be self-aware about ourselves. Self-awareness. And these lines demonstrate all levels of awareness. The more aware we are and aware of our perfection, the further we advance. Somewhere along the line, we started to listen to the people around us, and that they may not even told you anything directly. They could have just not done it themselves. Now, the people that raised us did what they could with what they knew. They didn't have this information as well. So don't get mad at the pastor. Don't get mad at the people that raised you. They did what they could with what they knew. You're becoming more self-aware. That's why you're listening to this. That's why you hopped on this call, or maybe you'll catch it later on. Because you're becoming more self-aware. What we need to understand is that we have a conscious mind. We have a subconscious mind. And then we have a body. The body feels. What does it feel? It feels these vibrations. It feels your level of awareness, your self-awareness. And it tries to adapt to changes according to how it thinks. Again, your mind is set and it's thinking in a certain way, but your certain way is no longer working. Why? You didn't know that you were programmed. The average individual does not know that there's a program in their subconscious, and it's the program that has you stuck. Every time you try to go beyond as you think, you're thinking from the program. That image comes onto the screen of your mind. Your ideas. Whose ideas? Your program's ideas. And as you think and you reason, you try to reason beyond where you've ever been. Your reason turns around and checks the box. If there's nothing in the box that knows how to go further than what it was programmed to see, what it knows how to do, let's put it that way. If there's nothing in this program that says, you don't know how to go further, the program tells you, let it go. Let go of your dream. Let go of your ideas and come back. Why don't you come back to what you know how to do? This is where the average individual stays. Every now and then you'll catch somebody want to go further, but here's where they hit conflict. They hit conflict because they don't know how to adapt to the change. This self-image that has been built over time is going to put up a royal fight. It will argue. It will tell you you can't do it. And you're talking to yourself. You're arguing with your own program. And you're listening to it. Why? Because you don't understand this information. You use your imagination, which is the highest faculty, which you could use it to go up. But the average individual, does not know this information, and they will let their subconscious mind tell them what to do. They get in a negative vibration. The body feels it. And the body says, no, we're more comfortable down here. Let's go back. And here they stay in this ruthless cycle of trying to go beyond, and they fall back in. They try to go find another job. They think the job is a problem. It's their reasoning with what? Their intellect. Here's the problem. Your intellect is the problem. This hard drive was a conditioned mindset. And if you never get out of the conditioned mindset, even though you try to go get another job, you try to build your own business, your own company, you try to go beyond, what you're trying to do is go beyond what you are. Your mind is set. And it's set to a self-image. And if you don't rewrite the self-image, and if you don't know how to go beyond and break through this terror barrier, we're teaching this all month long. We're fixing to be done here in the next 10 minutes. The terror barrier is teaching us how to go beyond these points in time of the resistance to become free. And you can't just do this one time. Goals are not to get, they're to grow. It's who you're becoming along the way. The average individual does not break through the conflict period and break through to freedom, not because he can't. He doesn't know how. This is what I've been doing. This is what we've been teaching. Let's say this was the pattern plan I would have stayed on. I would have gone from the age of 0 to 7 was my programming. I was programmed. I would have traveled through time to experience more or less my mindset, my program. Everybody is programmed. This line demonstrates a pattern plan in life. Pattern plan in life. I call this destiny in the balance. Let's put it here. Destiny in the balance. Whose balance? Well, this is the program. A lot of people say free will. Yes, we have free will, but how often do you really use your free will to change the images that you use to change your life? You don't. Why? Because you weren't programmed to. A lot of people say, I've got free will. Do you? Why have you not decided to go beyond what you know how to do? And you're going to tell me all the conditions outside of you. You're going to tell me all the reasons why it couldn't be done. You're going to explain to me why you couldn't break out of it. You're going to tell me why you never took responsibility for changing your plan. And the root cause is ignorance. You didn't know how. But this is what we teach. The average individual does not go beyond their reasoning logic and their reasoning mind, and they stay stuck and bound. This could be 100 years of age. You came in, 0. You will travel through time and space to experience more of what you were designed to experience. What we do is we teach people how to redesign and create a new pattern plan by changing the way they think right here. The mind, where the mind is set, we teach people how to change the way they think, to alter the pattern plan, so that they create a new what? A new model. By creating a new model, you change the course of reality and you change time. So by changing the way you think, rewiring, reprogramming your mind, this reality will disappear. I would have been here I was here in my 20s, would have stayed more or less here in my 30s, I would have been over here in my 40s, would have been over here in my 50s, 60s, 100, and never to experience or go beyond what I'm meant to experience. But what I did was I changed me, therefore this reality, as I was working on me, began to disappear. The 50-year-old went away to experience that reality. The 40-year-old disappeared because that reality is reshaping, rewiring, because I'm changing me. And because I erased my program and I rewrote my program, that reality disappeared. And I've created a new life, a new pattern plan, and I am experiencing it now. Why? Because I changed me. That reality faded away and a new reality has conformed. Now, each one of these would have been a previous reality if I would have stayed thinking the way I was thinking. I could have hit there at 100 and experienced that reality. But as I'm reprogramming myself, then I jump to this reality and I change my reality. This becomes 100. But no, I kept doing it over and over and I still keep doing it. Here's my reality at 100. So each one of these are different experiences that I would have had with different people, different places, different plots, a different scenario. But every time that I keep reprogramming my subconscious mind, the previous one fades away. It has to, by law. And every time I'm changing me, the people around me have to change too, because they can't come with me, because they're not reprogramming. So every time I'm fading out myself, my old self, I'm also fading out other people, because they are not reprogramming. I wanted to take everyone with me. They weren't willing to work on themselves, so they stayed right here. The people in the past are still on plan. This is not an accident. And anybody that knows me from the past, if you're ready and willing to work on you, I can show you how to go beyond. But until you're willing to work on you, you stay where it's on plan for you. This is not a game. This is life. So many people want to live, but they're not willing to die. I had to let go of what I was in the past to become what I am today. I'm not the same man I was 20 years ago. Completely different man. I'm not the same man I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same man I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same man I was a month ago. Why? Because I still keep working on me. Because I know that me is the only thing that can take me beyond what I am at the moment. And how do I change that? Keep working on my mindset. Let people see the experiences and they see the reality that's happened. It's happened because I've been working on me. It's through constant spaced repetition. It's through the continual work on me that has developed the me that you see today. Without working on me, nobody would have changed my life. It would have stayed the same. I'd have still stayed as at 20 years old. If I wouldn't have decided to work on me, I would have stayed as a tire man, or I would have stayed as working in an oil company, servicing company. But I decided to work on me. You can decide to work on you too. And you're the only one that can change you. You're the only one that can invest in you. You're going to earn the same amount of money that you do every year. Not on accident, but on plan. That's what you were designed to have. No more, no less. And every time you get a little more, you're going to find a reason for it to go away from you. Every time you try to get a little more, you're going to find a reason for that money to leave you. Why? Because you're not programmed to earn more than that. I'm telling you the truth. I've gone through it. It's through learning and adapting, willing to go beyond, willing to learn something about yourself so that you can change yourself. And I've heard this before. My family doesn't approve. I didn't ask your family, I asked you. Do you want to change? Because nobody can change your life. Nobody can change you. And you're the only one that can change your life. You're ready to make a decision. You're committed to work on yourself. I can show you how to get there. We do this for a living. We not only teach this information, we live it every day. And we brought it into our companies as well. We do things on purpose to definite ends. And our purpose is to help people and the development of people. You're ready and you're committed. You're ready to make a change your life, change your reality. We're here. Send us a message. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day. We'll be talking.